So I usually don't do this, but figured it'd be something fun. Got the Apple Airpods in and wanted to do an unboxing. So here's the box it actually came in. It seems to be proprietary. Little packaging system. Looks pretty slick. It's sort of attached to the bottom of the box. Well, that was nice and easy. So, typical Apple box. Take the plastic off. No big deal. Signed by Apple in California. I heard they didn't give stickers this time, which is quite odd. Every single thing I've ever bought from them. Not that I want any more, since there's like 4,000 stickers. Usually peels right off the whole way. Oh well. Nice. Very, very cool. Cannot wait to try them out. So let's pair them. Supposedly it's quite easy. I don't know because my GoPro's paired right now, but little white dot there flashing. And there we go. AirPods. Cool little picture there, little connect. Fairly charged already. Guess that's it. So after using these a little bit, I just want to talk about the good points and the bad points. Like everyone, it's easier to talk about the bad than there is the good. The good is the size. I'm absolutely in love with the size of it. Love the integration, how it works so well with the iPhone. I have an iPhone 6S. The fit and finish, I can see how people say it's a little off from Apple's past quality, because your fingernail can catch the seams and things like that. Real small details, but they never did that in the past. It was one of their biggest, one of the positives about Apple. For the design is really cool. I mean, it's well thought out of. You look at how these fit in here real nice, and they're magnetic. They actually, you can't really tell, but it pulls the actual AirPod in, and the lid. And then it's easier to talk about, like I said, the bad stuff. The bad stuff, starting off with the case, it's like static cling. It wants to grab stuff. I put it in my pocket and it's like I get all the fuzzing, like fuzz from my pockets all over it. It's pretty strange. You have to like sort of wipe them down. Don't know if that'll change over time, if there's some sort of mold release still on the plastic or not. The other bad thing is the actual lid wants to pop open and closed in my pocket sometimes. It feels pretty strong. I'm surprised it does that, but it does. You'll hear click, click every once in a while. You'll see it pop up on the phone. I don't know if you can see that because the stupid GoPro doesn't really distinguish the contrasting very well. The other bad thing about the design is I don't understand the placement in here. If you look, they're faced out. Here's your right, here's your left. Well, when you go to pull them out, you grab them this way or you grab it this way. It's easier to grab like this. And you pick them up, then you have to sort of handle them, turn them around to put them into your ear. I don't understand why they weren't placed, like this. Then you could grab, let's say if it was like this, you could just grab it like this, put it in your ear. Really odd. Seems like I'm missing something. Now that's all I could really critique about the design. Happily it still has the lightning port. Here's the little pairing switch if you don't have an iPhone. The other bad thing is the tapping is quite odd. I haven't got used to that. So when you place this in your ear and you want to use Siri, you have to tap somewhere not on the stem, it says. It doesn't always work for me. And plus, this thing's in your ear, so it's like you're tapping on your eardrum almost. It reminds me of like wearing a stethoscope and tapping on a stethoscope. Not as bad as that. I mean, that's an exaggerated, I'm exaggerating, of course, but it at least it still has that same kind of thing. So tapping sucks, and if you want to use the volume, you got to tap. Everything's tapping. Going back to the good side of how the whole thing works is taking them in and out of your ear. When you take one out of your ear, it instantly pauses the music. You know, it has a sensor, so it knows that you have one out, and then once you put it back in, it starts playing again. You can use just the left or just the right, which I really like when I'm talking on the phone, because the wired ones you had to use the right because that's where the microphone was. This one you can put the left one in if you want, or you can put both in. It doesn't matter. Love the charging situation. I mean, you got these have their own battery life, and I don't know the numbers. You can look them up, but let's say I think it's like 12 hours, and then the case has another 24, and it's always charging in its case. I think that's very, very clever. Sound quality. Now this is something that's been brought up a lot, and people said how they sound so much better. I have a slightly different opinion about that. If you're one of those people that like Bose headphones and Beats where low volume, it's real bassy. I mean, it sounds like a ton of bass. It's overwhelming. You don't hear very much treble. And then as you turn it up, the bass sort of goes away, and then the treble gets louder and louder. That's the way these are designed. I'm not a big fan of that. I like more bass when it's lower, but not that much. And I want to be able to still hear bass as you turn up the volume, and it's a limitation, I guess, of the driver's size. But if you compare them to the wired ones are more linear in my mind. They're not as bassy down low, but it stays more clear and more even throughout the volume range. So when you get up to the high volume, it's pretty even. These ones, they're not even, and also it doesn't have the clear sound that the wired ones do when you're up at high volumes. And obviously, like everybody says, yeah, it doesn't get nearly as loud as the wired ones. But the wired ones, when you get up to that top, it's almost distorted anyway. So you really don't lose that much. Another weird thing, again, I don't know if you can see the phone, but if you go over to where the batteries are, I have an iWatch also, and it tells you the battery life. This one does not show up in this screen. But you can just open the lid, and I hope you guys can see this. But then it tells you the phone, the actual earbuds, the AirBuds themselves, and the case. It shows you the two different battery levels, which is nice. That's easy. But you know, if it's in your pocket and you just want to see where your battery life is, it doesn't show up for some reason. I don't know if that's a setting or not, but that's about it. I mean, I just wanted to do a quick video and tell you my initial thoughts on it. I usually don't do these kind of reviews because there's a million of them out there. But I was pretty excited about these, and I still am. I think they're perfect for what I want to use them for. And, you know, hopefully they stand up to a little bit of abuse being in the pocket and things like that. So, hope you enjoyed.